Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in about 2 hours, T Mobile presents its business update, so I'll be tuned in. We should get more detail on what the majority ownership of Deutsche Telekom looks like. I think it's going to be a silent majority owner. I think they just want to reap the benefits of the growth story of T Mobile. So that lets me know Deutsche Telekom is confident that T-Mobile's growth trajectory, like it was in LTE, is going to be the same in 5G and or exceed it. So again, T-Mobile USA is going to be all upside. They've very heavily competed and gained share in the consumer side of the market, postpaid, prepaid, but they have yet to have any meaningful impact on business with the Fortune 500 companies, wearables, connected cars. I mean, everything beyond that, they haven't even really included it in the plan during the merger. So that's all upside. Of course, home internet is a brand new segment that they're getting into. That's upside. So there's huge growth for T-Mobile to obtain as the network gets better, as more mid-band goes on air, and as more low-band goes on air in 5G for its extended range 5G. Now, can they maintain the lead? According to Neville Ray, yes, but he's not going to tell you any otherwise, of course. He is he's the leader of the network, so he's not going to tell you, oh, we might fall behind in 2 years. He's not going to publicly state that. There's no way he's going to come out and say that. So, yes, he's going to confidently tell you that he'll be able to materially maintain that lead. So I've done some more digging. And if you consider, and this is up to you, if you consider the low band portion of the 5G, the N71 band 71, 600 megahertz, if you consider that a meaningful 5G part of the network, then they likely have a bigger lead. A material bigger lead, maybe 3 years. That's just a guesstimate. They had a multi-year investment already on this low band with the multi 5G radios. So a lot of those sites that they went to, which now covers 1.6 million square miles of the United States, it's modernized. So they went up there, they did the work with the radios, they got the newer panels up there. So if you consider that a meaningful layer into the overall network, then yes, they have about a 3-year lead. Mid-band, that will likely be I would say 18 to 24 months, and that could be close. That could be that gap could be closing by December as Verizon and AT&T get started on their mid-band rollout. Now, the reason that gap closes is because they're accelerating by spending money. They're going to spend double. It's going to, just to put it into perspective, it's going to take T-Mobile 24 months to get to a spending level of what AT&T and Verizon are spending in 12 months. So that'll just put that in perspective. So they're going to accelerate. So they're going to do it very quickly. Are they still going to be behind after the fact? Yes, they're still going to be behind. But on an annual basis, I think AT&T and Verizon are going to continue spending at those levels to keep closing that gap and do so very quickly. T-Mobile spending levels are up a little bit this year and next year, $12 billion, then they go down in spending. I think Verizon and AT&T maintain their spending levels. In fact, they may increase them depending on what the trajectory looks like for the year. Can they finish that last 6 months of a stretch to get to that 250 million pop? So I think they can materially increase capex to expand even faster at an even more rapid pace versus T-Mobile. So that's kind of T-Mobile's advantage, is time, not money. They've had about a year head start on the mid-band, about a 3-year now on low band. So that's kind of where they have the advantage, is the time, not the money. So, but again, if you go by history, Neville Ray says that whoever has gone out the gates first with the technology usually wins, which in the last decade, that was Verizon. But neither one of the carriers that are now in play with the mid-band have spent the money that they're spending now versus LTE. So we're going to see if that statement by Neville holds true and if history does repeat itself, because Verizon is very prideful on keeping that network leadership. So I believe when they say they're going to spend whatever it takes, I think they spend that additional $10 billion outside of that 3-year mark just to gain back its leadership or exceed T-Mobile in that race. Remember, T-Mobile still hasn't caught up yet on overall coverage. So once Verizon touches their entire footprint, they'll have a larger 5G network versus T-Mobile. T-Mobile has to gain the square miles of the entire footprint of Verizon to be able to claim a larger network. So if Verizon can get to their footprint that they're at now, which is larger than T-Mobile's overall, they will have the largest 5G network at that time. It's going to take them some time to materially see that happening. So T-Mobile still has some time. They have until December to ramp up its N41 and get it on the 50,000+ sites that they want to touch. And then after that fact, they have a little bit of time to gain the coverage and close that gap even more. So they got a little time, but it's every day that goes by, that time gap is closing. So I'll be tuned in to the conference. It should be an interesting one. So I'll give you guys an update on that business update later today. But for now, it's T-Mobile against AT&T and Verizon. Both are spending significantly more than in the past. AT&T is now a pure wireless player, focused, very focused. Verizon also getting rid of more media assets, very focused on pure wireless. They're going to spend whatever it takes to get to their goals that they want to achieve. And if they can get to covering their footprint, their entire footprint, before Neville can catch up to them on overall square miles, they will have the largest 5G network versus T-Mobile. Of course, that's going to take some years to see that materialize. That's why it's going to get, I think it's going to be a dogfight. Root Metrics is displaying that as well. T-Mobile is making some massive gains on that. So I predict the second half to be very tight. We could start seeing, now this is a prediction, we could start seeing markets where all three of them are tied for number one. We could start very well seeing that, which of course overall is going to be great for consumers. And that lets you know that, hey, T-Mobile may have a decent home internet product for a replacement if you don't like your current ISP or they don't perform as well. So let me know all that in the comment section down below. If you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel and you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.